रतन प्यार के धागे के माला के बीच से निकल नहीं सकता। इसलिए कभी भी किसी बात में भी किसी स्थान से किसी सेवा से किसी साथी से किनारा करके अपनी अवस्था को अच्छा बना के दिखाओ। ये संकल्प नहीं करना। कहते हैं ना, इसके साथ नहीं चल सकते हैं, उसके साथ चलेंगे। इस स्थान पर नहीं उन्नति होगी, दूसरे स्थान पर होगी। ये सेवा में विघ्न है, दूसरी सेवा में अच्छा होगा। ये सब किनारे करने के बाद अगर एक बार ये आदत अपने में डाली तो यही आदत आपको कहाँ भी टिकने नहीं दे, बुद्धि को भी एकाग्र करने नहीं देंगे। क्यों? बुद्धि को बदलने की आदत पड़ गई। इसलिए ये भी कमजोरी गिनी जाएगी, ये उन्नति नहीं गिनी जाएगी। कमजोरी सदैव अपने में शुभ उम्मीदें रखो, ना उम्मीद नहीं बनो। जैसे बाप ने हर बच्चों में शुभ उम्मीद रखी, कैसे भी है, लेकिन बाप लास्ट नंबर से भी कभी दिल शिकस्त नहीं बने। सदाई उम्मीद रखी तो आपको भी कभी भी ना अपने से न दूसरे से न सेवा से न उम्मीद पर समझाना सभी ने समझा।
Om Shanti. Awake the signals. April. Imbibe the virtues of sweetness and humility. By specially imbibing sweetness and humility, you will constantly be a world benefactor, a great donor, and a bestower of blessings. You will then easily be able to give the proof of love. Sweetness is the greatness of Brahmin life. Where there is sweetness, there is purity. There cannot be sweetness without purity. So, always be sweet. This is the basis of success in service. Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Today's date second. Mana Bhava. Sweetness of all relationships. Now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti, everyone. Everyone is doing fine. Okay. Yes. When Baba uses the word sweetness, of course, we know that sweet words, sweet drishti, but sweetness is something which today we are talking about is in relationships. In our Lokik life also, when parents and children have very, very good relationship where they support, they cooperate, they are available for each other. So it's a kind of sweetness which is left in the soul. And we could feel if there is any kind of bitterness because of lack of satisfaction in any relationship, that also becomes visible in the nature. Or if you had difficult time in your college or school with teacher, any particular teacher, that also little bit bitterness is left, right? So sweetness of relationships is a very, very beautiful experience. Right? And especially what I experienced when, even before coming to Gyan with Baba, with God, I always felt lot of sweetness. Baba as parents. That time we didn't know Baba as teacher or Sadguru, but of course we knew, and we always sang the prayers that your mother, father, or your friend. And that sweetness then comes in your nature. Of course, Lokik relationships are there, but in that there could also be once in a while a little bit lack of fulfillment of accomplishment, expectations. You expect more, you don't get that much. But with Baba, with God, you will always have full satisfaction, contentment. And I could just feel it even now, that sweetness which I experience from God anytime. Of course, at that time we didn't know that Shiv Baba is God. I always, looked at Sri Krishna, and looking at Sri Krishna, we have one here too, one who's always cheerful, always smiling at you. And then this another kind of sweetness which one experiences is from purity. As Baba said, if I have difficulty, I change the place. If I have difficulty, I change my relationship. But not seeing that there are personalities which could be very challenging, but also they are important in life. People with differences in your life are very important. It's not any everyone agrees to you and they say, oh, like I have good relationship with him or her. In my life, I always thought people, those who are difficult in the sense of their own part, I always thought I will stay with that person always. Because whatever sanskars, karmic accounts one has to settle. So why not do it sometimes by just going into deep silence? Sometimes we try to sort out things, then we argue or disagree. But if I just stay in deep silence, and in that silence, everything gets resolved because it has very powerful vibrations. And also, just maintain good wishes. If you cannot love someone, you can be merciful at least, right? Because that soul is also struggling with one's own sanskar. And if I also say it's difficult for me, that's where that soul loses hope, right? But my giving support, companionship, friendship, good wishes definitely will help the soul. Some realizations come. I had been reading some yesterday's blessing and today's blessing. Baba said, okay, if you believe in truth, then the way you deal with it, in the sense that you cannot be angry, you cannot just accuse someone or talk about that person. Shri Baba said, even that is a sin. It's very, very interesting to see how Baba helps us to take care of many, many sanskars and many karmic accounts in a way that I don't settle for, don't create further more. Sometimes while settling, we could create more karmic accounts. So this sweetness is only possible when I have very close relationship with Baba. Because what soul receives from Baba makes the soul very, very sweet or gentle or compassionate. So that is why we say experience the sweetness of all relationships with Baba. Every time Baba has to teach us, he uses the word sweet children. It's not necessary, right? But every time, sweet children. Because even what I will learn, there will be sweetness. But the way Baba looks at me, sweet children. So we cannot say it to each other, right? But through my drishti, through my words and the vibrations can definitely give the feelings of sweetness. I know that when we came in Gyan, a lot of souls used to say, what is this sweetness Baba is talking about? Now we know it. There is a friendship, yes. And if it's a good friendship, it gives such a very deeply sweet feelings. There is attachment, then it's not sweetness because there is always fear in attachment. I remember once one mother, she used to feel very sad about something at home. Other family members will say to her. So she went to Didi Manmohini. I was sitting there. Said, Daddy, I feel so sad. I don't like when they say like this. Didi said, you're feeling not good about all that because of your attachment with them. So that made me think, and I said, that's true. Because sorrow is coming from attachment. Their behavior is causing sorrow because of attachment. But if I am detached, whatever anyone will say, it won't affect me. And it's true because she started kind of practicing that detachment and she found doesn't matter whatever anyone said. But this spiritual love for each other. Today Baba said that no one can say, "Oh, I cannot get along with family." Many say it's very difficult to be with a BK family, but actually, uh, if we look at the speciality of each one, it's amazing. One time, someone was complaining about other person. So Dadi Janki said, will you be able to do that, what this one is doing? She said, no. But then just love, have respect. Because everyone is different and everyone has a part to play and everyone is accurate. There are certain situations come, but those situations are also very useful because somewhere those situations are responding or kind of reacting or interconnecting situations. But if souls don't realize, then they become bitter or angry or oppose it. And those who deeply understand that this scene is important because connecting with previous one and the next one. So this understanding of drama also brings a kind of very acceptance, and acceptance is a sweetness. So start with Baba in all relationships, experiencing the sweetness. And when there is sweetness, the remembrance is also very sweet. It gives you really what we call as a blissful stage or super sensitive joy. You feel very deeply happy. When you feel just suddenly Baba loves me. I was in ORC for a day when I was coming in transit in Delhi. So they wanted me to share the experience. And I said, one of the greatest fortune I have is love of God and love of everyone. I always feel so much love. And that love makes you belong to Baba, surrender to Baba, be obedient to Baba. There are some, they don't feel that love. They always feel I am not loved that much. Right? So it's great fortune not to feel God's love, everyone's love. It's only because you love them, they love you, right? So when it comes to Manmanabhav, remembrance of one, whole day, you just feel suddenly as if Baba is pulling your mind, pulling your intellect. Efforts, yes, I have to make, but there is response from Baba of those efforts. Sometimes we don't have enough time to observe that. So I feel, oh, only I am remembering, I am making efforts, I am doing yoga. But don't forget, every time you think of Baba, Baba thinks of you. So what do you receive from there? But we don't have time even to think, what is Baba giving to me in response to my love? Because every time I am thinking, he is responding. More you can feel the response from Baba, your mind just stays with Baba. How much Baba also thinks of me. Same like there is love with dadis or amongst ourselves. So when I express it, automatically from other side there is expression of some kind. But sometimes I don't observe it and I think, oh, I am doing it, but I am not thinking that other one is also giving me that. It's a very subtle aspect where receiving an observance, right? When scenes of drama appear, we watch them. But there are certain things which you need to just observe how drama is playing itself. But we are so busy in playing, not seeing and not observing. And not observing is also, then you don't experience. So these are very subtle aspects in whether relationships or sharing that eternal love for each other. And also amongst ourselves, right? So sweetness of all relationships helps me to be with Baba. Can you imagine when I think of Baba as Sadguru, every time he will say, yes, children, give some blessing. Baba will give some blessing. But we don't hear that blessing because we are engaged, we are busy. So now you notice that as much I remember Baba, how Baba responds to that remembrance every time. It's not we want only things to be done. I should be successful, this should be done. That's very mundane, but it's subtle, very subtly. I say something to Baba, Baba also responds, right? But I need to hear it. So this lovely, everlasting, unconditional, beautiful relationships also is the foundation for uh, stage of Manmanabhav. We will deepen our experiences every day and find that our remembrance is more consistent. Baba says 8 hours, but it has to be 24 hours. So think about that loveful sweetness which you receive in all relationships with Baba. Om Shanti.
So, before we start our chit chat, I would like to invite our lovely angels. So, as I shared yesterday, in month of April, this group of Kumaris have taken initiative. So, yesterday, Sister Maitri, she did the practice, she shared, and today we have Angel, Sister Sarah, So I would like to invite both of them, and sisters will share experience with us.
Om Shanti Avyakti Parivar. Om Shanti, dear Mohini Didi. It was such a beautiful sharing, and we could really experience the sweetness of Baba's presence while you were sharing. So today we have very special angel, Sister Sarah, who also practiced Manmanabhav, took 1 hour out of her day to practice surrendering her mind and thinking the way Baba wants us to think. So, Sister Sarah, welcome to Avyakti Parivar. Would you like to share your experience of the day, what newness emerged?
Sure. Om Shanti, everyone. Om Shanti, Mohini Didi. So yes, it was a very interesting experience for me. Last night before going to bed, I wrote a letter to Baba and I said, Baba, let my every thought just be with you tomorrow. Let it just be you and me and no one in between. So next morning, Baba woke me up earlier than usual for Amrit Vela. And he gave me that experience. He responded. It was very easy for me to connect to him. And I was just lost in that love and the sweetness, like Didi was mentioning tonight. And it was just me and Baba and no one else. And I didn't really have to do anything. I just woke up, I freshened up, and I sat there. And Baba just gave me that experience. So that was really, really beautiful. And so I didn't even realize when the Amrit Vela was finished. Like it went by so quickly. So it was such a beautiful Amrit Vela. I really didn't ever have that experience before. So I tried to keep with that stage throughout the day, and it was very easy. Like I didn't have to think much. It was just natural. Like Baba is with me, and the song in my mind was like, "Oh, I love you, Baba. You're just my Baba," and it's just me and you. And my mind did not wander to other situations or the problems or any soul. Actually, it was just very easy and I just felt very close, and it was just very natural for me. So throughout the day, through into Murli class, I kept with it with my traffic control. And I told Baba, I said, Baba, to be Manmanabhav is so easy. It's just, you just have to remember, we just have to remember you. And so I went and my family and I, we offered bhog to Baba. We had our lunch. And, but the atmosphere is very peaceful. Everybody, it just feels so good. And so we went on with our day to day. And then I said, okay, Baba, I'm going to go take a nap now. I said, okay, let's take a nap. And then, so I'm going to go take a nap. And then I said to Baba, like, all of a sudden this feeling of nervousness came up. I was like, what is happening here? I was Manmanabhav all day. And I just felt this intense feeling of nervousness. And I said, okay, Baba, okay, guide me, Baba, what do I do here? And I, because I was remembering, I didn't think I had the thought that tonight I have to come to Avyakti Parivar and I will be speaking in front of a lot of souls and they'll be listening. And I haven't thought about it like all day because I was just with Baba. So that sanskara of nervousness started to emerge and that self-doubt started to emerge. So I said, okay, Baba, okay, please guide me, just guide me. And so the thought that I received was, okay, let me call my angel sister. She's also Kumari. Let me see what she would tell me. And so I said, sister, I don't think I can do it. Like I'm a little bit nervous. Like this feeling just came over me and I don't know what am I going to say? What am I going to share? I just kind of went blank. And then she's like, sister, stop. She's a very sweet sister. And she's like, sister, stop. No, Baba made you the instrument. He chose you to come and share tonight. So you can do it. You got this. Just don't think that anyone's listening to you. Don't think that you're talking to anyone. Just think that you're talking to Baba. And I said, okay, yes, she's right. Okay. And we ended the call and we said, we'll talk soon. And so I said, okay, yes, sister is very right. And then I said, okay, I had that feeling. The feeling was still there. It didn't go away. But then I said, okay, Baba, okay, what's the next thing to do? I have my notebook here where I take my notes. So I opened it up. The first thing that I see, it says, from last night's class from Didi, surrender means to think the way Baba wants me to think. It's like, okay, surrender means to think the way Baba wants me to think. So what did Baba tell me today? So the first thing I did, I have my Murli copy here. I picked it up and I just I read the Murli to myself out loud 3 times. And by the end of the 3rd time I did that, that feeling just completely disappeared. It was like magic. It's like I never had the feeling. And that's the power. That's the power of God's versions. And my mind calmed down. I was back to where I was. And so like the questions that I was asking, like, oh, what will I share? What will I do? Like this, all of that ended. So that was like my wow Baba moment. Like that's what it was. And I said, okay, surrender means to think the way Baba wants me to think. So I said, okay, let me underline, what is Baba telling me today in today's Murli? So some of the points that I saw is, have faith that you are the child of God. You are elevated. You are part of God's family. God is teaching you. So this is what I have to feel like. This is how I have to think. I have to see myself in that way that Baba sees me. So sister was right on the phone. She like Baba is the one that put me here tonight to share. And it's nobody else asked me to do it. It's Baba asked me to do it. So he saw that in me. So I should see myself that way. So that was the realization I had. So and Baba guided me to that. And like sometimes, you know, the realize like sometimes he just showed me what happens when you don't have the awareness. When the awareness slips away, like those waste thoughts start to come back, and like those older ways of thinking start to come up. So that's what Baba showed me today, and that was my wow moment today. Yeah.
Such a lovely experience. So honest, so pure. And it's nice that you recognized Srimad at the right time. And then you heard Baba's response to it and changed it from why one to Baba. So very nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to share to a Vikti Parivar? Any special advice or something you've learned?
Yeah, definitely. Always whenever those feelings come up, just pick up the Murli and read it. That's what it is. It's everything is in this. And Baba says the Murli is the breath of the Brahmin life, and it's magic. That was my experience today. So whenever you have that feeling of those doubtful feelings or feelings of fear, like just pick up the Murli, read the blessing, read the slogan, read just one part, and you will find your answer.
Thank you, sister. That's very nice. Thank you for coming to Avyakti Parivar. Would you like to give us our homework for tomorrow?
Sure. Manmanabhav. Sweetness of all relationships. To experience the sweetness of all relationships is to become Manmanabhav. There isn't just the experience of the special 3 forms of relationship with the Father, but you can also experience the love of all relationships. You remember Baba with all relationships. But what is the difference created? One is to remember Baba just on the basis of knowledge with your head. And the other is to become merged in love of that relationship with your heart. So now let's meditate. Om Shanti.
Shanti.
Manmanabhav, sweetness of all relationships. To experience the sweetness of all relationships is to become Manmanabhav. There isn't just the experience of the special three forms of relationship with the Father, but you can also experience the love of all relationships. You remember Baba with all relationships, but what is the difference created? One is to remember Baba just on the basis of knowledge with your head. The other is to become merged in love of that relationship with your heart.
मनमनाभव, सर्व संबंधों का रस। सर्व संबंधों का रस व अनुभूतियाँ करना ही मनमनाभव है। सिर्फ बाप के रूप में या विशेष 3 रूपों के संबंध से अनुभव नहीं है, लेकिन सर्व संबंधों के स्नेह का अनुभव कर सकते हो। संबंधों से याद तो करते हो, लेकिन फर्क क्या हो जाता है? एक है दिमाग से नॉलेज के आधार पर संबंध को याद करना, और दूसरा है दिल से उस संबंध के स्नेह में, लव में लीन हो जाना। ओम शांति।
Om Shanti. Sweetness of Baba's relationship. Om Shanti. Good night.